Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to recap and talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 15 Reunion Part 1. I have many things to say, many opinions to give. I tried to shorten up this video as best as I could. I will be going into sections, but first off, let's recap what went down and then move on to my final opinion. So we open up the episode with the girls arriving to, New York. They're all prepping, skincaring, makeuping, outfitting, and just getting ready to serve fabulous looks at the reunion. The set of this year's reunion is inspired by their cast trip. Andy's taking it all in, meditating, and soaking up the good energy. And then we have the ladies coming out. And let me just say, even if I do not really like Sonia that much on this type of show, she definitely served. She was the best dressed, so simple, so classy and elegant on this reunion. She served. We see all the ladies sitting down and finally arriving onto set after getting ready. And Andy is opening up the official reunion with a nice affirming little meditation sentence. I am loving awareness, and I believe that was I am loving awareness or something like that. And then he goes on to greet everybody on the couch. First up, we have Candy. He's basically shading and thanking her in the same sentence. Because she's always so booked and busy. He's glad that she found time to do this today, which is a little dig on the low because that is her obligation in the contract probably, but that was a little fun comment, which I also think it's pretty telling that she's on the last seat this year. Then we move on to Shereé and her refreshed look. She's saying that she's feeling refreshed, and he's also saying it, and she's finally admitting to having a nose job, a little tweak on her nose due to difficulty breathing. I digress, but she really does look good. We then see Marlo, and Andy is saying, well, where is Marlo? She apparently did lose a little bit of weight, and she is really, fessing up as well and saying that she's on the shots, which is probably some type of Ozempic or Wegovy. And then we see Kenya, and Andy is just in awe. Let me pour myself a little bit of water. Andy is just in awe with her, look. He is giving the underboob some very much appreciation. They're having a good little laugh about it before everything starts out in this shady reunion. And then we move along to Drew in a much more, serious note. He is asking her how she's doing whilst living with, her still husband in the house. Still, it probably must feel like living in the pits of deep, dark hell. But anyways, we'll get to that later. Then we greet Sonia. We realize she's pregnant again with her miracle baby after having a miscarriage. So congratulations, Sonia. And again, she was serving. The look was incredible. The hair looks so good. The dress complemented her figure so much. She's glowing. She's got the pregnancy glow of it all. Very, very happy for her. We immediately open up the first segment that belongs to Miss Shereé Whitfield. So we have a little montage of what happened, in this setting of this season. We discuss Martell, that bum, and her relationship, which is still confusing to me this day. Then the feud between her and Candy, her trying to heal the girls, and then Bob showing up with a, new addition to the sip and see for Shereé's and Bob's granddaughter, which was a whole mess in itself. And, Andy is discussing further things with her, like how she found out about the daughter, and we actually come to know that they haven't even done any blood tests, but I think that there is similarity to both of them, to Candace and Bob, his daughter. So I think we can put that to rest. Then we, discuss Sheree's alleged heavy new look, which I personally think is not heavy at all. I am an individual who's also gotten 2 nose jobs and a little lift on my brows, which did, change my appearance ever so slightly in the millimeters. But I can definitely tell that Shereé has had a nose job, which looks good. Then they're comparing it to, having a similar look with Drew. And Shereé's shading it a little bit and giving the, I was Drew, I would be offended because that was one of my bad pictures. Well, okay, Shereé, we get it. And he's having a good little laugh about it, and then we move on to Marlo having, kicked down the door at Kenya's event early on in the season, and we actually see Kenya serving Marlo an empty subpoena letter at the reunion that she has to appear in court and speak on the matter. And actually, I was scrolling through Instagram today, and I saw that Kenya even released the full, detailed and legal subpoena that she's serving Marlo, and I was like, a mess. The girls are still fighting months after the reunion, and even a day after the reunion aired. But anyways, I'm curious to see how and when this whole thing in court is gonna go down, because Mark is holding that against Kenya as well. And then we see actually Miss Phaedra Parks do a little, flashback appearance on the show, which I was kind of shocked. Is this a soft launch to the OGs? Maybe in a way being brought back to the show next season. Who knows? They were talking about her a little bit, how Marlo is supposedly using Phaedra's help with the whole court thing that she has going on with her, criminal past. And then we see Shereé and Kandi getting into it, talking about the looks of Shereé and how she puts all the shots in her face, and then Shereé's clapping back with her. Kandi has gotten her body done allegedly 4 times. It was a whole back and forth. The reunion, the insults of it all, and the drama was not too much, but also not too little. The girls definitely clocked in. They were probably all gathered together before they would go out there and told to perform. That's what it's giving to me. And I appreciate it because actually the girls did perform in every single way. Even, if I don't like Sonia, she did chime into conversation. She is kind of a bootleg Cynthia Bailey type of role to the show, but she's still, everybody participated, and I can still appreciate it. Then Shereé brings out the shadiest receipt ever, which I thought was a little bit low of her. She News newspaper that had bad reviews on Candy's restaurants, which I thought was a bit tasteless, and her store tags and all. And I just think it was a bit unnecessary, because the jokes truly write themselves with Shereé. We have a lot of funny stuff about her in the media and the public, which I am sure Kandi could also publish that, not in a Bible, but a book, honey. So the audacity and the delusions were delusioning in this reunion, but I was here for it. And I think Kandi really took it like a champ. Then we move on to Marlo and her montage about Sonia saying that she feels like the other girls don't know the Marlo that she knows. And then, Marlo slamming the door in Monyetta's face. And Marlo being on this whole life coach journey and the bettering of the relationship in her family and taking care of her nephews and her monthly duties, which I think is pretty interesting to see a different type of patchwork family dynamic on our TV screens to kind of normalize that type of relationship or family dynamic, which I think is good. Then we move on to Drew's segment, which is a lot, so bear yourself. We're talking about the Already Know song that she produced with Ralph, then the movie that she's produced, that she starred in with Candy and Todd, and those sex scenes that she was apparently so nervous about, and her singing career. So we see all of that. Everybody's kind of commenting on it. And, we then quickly go back to the LaToya kiss with Drew and how Drew's saying that those are some candy-coated lies, but Candy is definitely holding down to the fact that she saw what she saw and she wasn't hallucinating and not promoting her movie in any way, because at that point in season 13 the movie was not even in question, which, it's obvious. How would you back then promote a future movie that wasn't never really discussed? But I guess I could see the point where Drew would say how she would use that now to promote it in a type of way or a method that Candy would use. But I don't think that Candy needs that type of exposure. After some tiffs and giggles with the whole cast, Courtney and Monyetta are coming out to join the ladies. I am not going to hold you guys super long on this one. I thought that was really boring. Monyetta pretty much gave nothing, as did Courtney. I really wish that Monyetta will, do a little bit more if she gets the chance to return to the show next season. We probably know that Courtney is out by the way she is behaving, and Courtney was doing way too much for Ralph's side, in my opinion. A gay very much affair, allegedly, in my opinion, in the opinion of the crowd on social media. Do not come for me, please. But Drew definitely clocked her right then and there. She even threw a peach at her, which I thought was so funny. It's kind of a basic move from Drew, because she already threw a bone at Shereé's friend, I think a season or two ago. But I thought it was deliciously funny, to be honest. It's corny, but it was still funny. We see the Courtney hot mic moment that she's talking about the gay lover relationship that Drew had with Ty, allegedly, and the adoption of Drew's son, which is irritating Drew a lot, and I can definitely understand why, because this dumbass is coming into your life pretty much intertwining in things that are none of her business and taking the gaslighters and manipulators side on the whole debacle with Drew and Ralph. At the end, we then see Andy asking about Kenya's salon and how she's going to add a new floor, and they had a soft opening, and in fall the salon will be open for, bookings and whatever. And I was sad that they didn't show that, because I think we could have gotten so much from that storyline. And I even mentioned in one of my previous videos that Claudia Jordan did even appear at the launch of this party in, combination with Cynthia, which I think could have been good TV, but those are questions that need to be asked in the direction of production as to why they chose to not keep that around in this season. But that was pretty much all of what happened in the reunion. We see a preview for the next episode where Drew is storming off. Ralph is joining the ladies. She is even being sat down in the middle, and Andy's taking her spot on the couch, and she's kind of revealing something. Could this be a type of coming out, a fessing up to a type of relationship? But even if she does that next episode, I really hope that if she does fess up to something, that she will say that this is her, ending the bullshit that came from Ralph, and he did this, that, and that, and as a karmic response, Drew did this, that, and that as well. So I think now we're even, now we have an even playing field, and I can't wait to see what they say about this divorce next episode, and I'm really excited, and I'm going to recap the next part of the reunion as well. Now let's get to my opinion. Let me grab a little water. What did I think of the first part of the reunion? I think when I look back at this season, it's a bit, sad to see how it flopped, to be honest. I think I enjoyed the reunion in a way I wish I would have enjoyed this season. It was very full of laughter. I was cracking up multiple times. I've even heard others' feedback where they say that this episode, or this part of the reunion was a good balance to kind of bring back some laughter and true entertainment and fun group shade. And to that, I definitely have to agree. And I think Shereé was really clocked in because, with all of these rumors swirling around that they are going to reboot the show, I think everybody is scared for their peach. Everybody is scared for their check, understandably. But I think, Candy, I didn't like how you said that you feel like Drew is gaslighting Ralph. And even if she was, I don't think you should have said that, because everything that he gets, he deserves. If she does gaslight him, because she, has been master manipulated from seemingly the start of their relationship. Kenya, I think it was also a bit too much, but also understandable in another sense. How you were saying that the dates that Marlo has end up with, her picking up the money from the nightstand or the night table. I thought that was a bit unnecessary and old. How many times are we going to repeat that Marlo potentially had a past with a sugar daddy or multiple sugar daddies allegedly? And even if she said that she has dated a billionaire and that she is really taken care of now for probably the rest of her life. So I do not understand all the hate that she gets from that corner, but I do understand it in some way as well. I always, you guys know me from, listening to me in my videos, I try to see every situation from both sides, so I do not have a stale opinion on everything. I do kind of see why they would put that out and really go against her, because the dynamic between them, Kenny and Kenya, Drew and Marlo, is kind of ruffled and harsh and broken in a way, because we see a clear and true divide, right? If you split this picture in the middle, you can definitely tell that Drew, Kenya, and Candy are more of a clique, and Shereé, Marlo, and Sonia are the second clique. Drew, I liked how you did stand your own at this reunion. You definitely second guessed everything, and you called out Candy a little bit, which I thought was good in a way, because we do have the tendency for people to be a little bit intimidated by Candy. I think behind the scenes, the things that she does in her business world are phenomenal. There's no doubt about that. But, for example, her striking down the channel of Daly's Corner, I thought was just... I don't know if it was her or her team, and this is just me repeating information, so do not think of coming for me in my small little corner in my on my channel. I think that was a bit unnecessary. I think there was a teeny tiny bit of a misunderstanding between the YouTuber and Candy, but still, back to Drew. I think you handled Courtney perfectly. You clocked her right then and there. I thought that was amazing. And let's get to Shereé. Shereé was activated. Shereé was not stuttering. Shereé was here. Shereé said, "Look at me now. Look at my nose. Look at my body. Do you like me now?" She definitely was clocked in. We see her perform in a way I wish she would perform most of the time, because I really do not like how she stutters in every conversation where she gets confronted. And I mean, let's keep it real, she is delusional with that newspaper. And even though, as much as I get on Candy, I have to defend her 1,000,000%. The reviews that you printed out on your She News newspaper, and Shereé, I see you on Instagram today as well, posting some funny things, even creating an official site for your She newspaper. Again, Candy could probably write up a book the size of a Bible with reviews on your businesses, Shereé. So not too much on Candy, because Candy has had, fashions and tags from Shein or whatever vendor that she chooses to buy them from, but she never really said that she is going to release original clothing. So I don't know. If you ask me, that was a little bit too low down and dirty. I get that it was for, content for the show, but still I ask myself, why taint a 13-14 year friendship like that in a very mean way? Because those reviews, I mean, my parents own a restaurant as well, and bad reviews will always be there, even if you have top tier service, top tier food, top tier hygiene, top tier friendliness, and top tier customer service. There will always be a slip up, because we're all humans and not robots. But let's give her flowers as well for providing at least 5 to 10 minutes to the reunion with that newspaper. Marlo was, a little bit quiet and sat back. She definitely read back every time she got read. I thought she did it in a more classy manner. And I wish in the future, though, that she activates herself a little bit more. And I see the double standards floating around when people say that she is angry or loud, when other cast members can be as well, but that never gets called out. That's one thing I've seen with her that I do not like. But then again, I think Marlo could be a little bit more sensitive to Kenya and the whole court thing matter. And I really do hope that to handle it offline and kind of behind the scenes and put their beef to the side, because I truly think that Kenya and Marlo in combination could be so good for the show. And that's my take on that. Sonia didn't say anything. She chimed in a couple of conversations here and there, but nothing that really stood out or that I can actively remember. I think this is probably going to be her last season, and I really tried my best to want her, or for myself to want her to be on the show, but I do like her as a human, but I just see her in a fitness show or, some type of thing that has to do with her business. I think her husband does a winery stuff. I think she would be more suited for that softly type of content and not reality TV, in my opinion. But I'm not here to block anyone's blessing, and if she's shown on the next season of The Real Housewives, that's what it is, honey. So that's my take on Miss Sonia. Courtney and Monyetta, boring as hell. Courtney, you tried it. You really tried it. I have to give you credit for clocking Drew and you did give some type of performance. You kind of failed, but at least you did still show up in your delusions. As on the other hand, Monyetta, you definitely gave not a whole lot. I have to be honest. I really do like you as a human. I think we would click, but how did you get the friend of role? I still don't understand. But all in all, I think it was a pretty good reunion episode. Not too much, not too little. I hope we do go out with a bang next episode, so we dwell on maybe some shocking information that's going to come out at the reunion or whatnot. I'm excited to see how this whole season is going to wrap up, and we'll probably see Atlanta in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. I can't wait to see what the casting is going to look like on next season. I uploaded a video on that matter, as well as to who I wish could or would come back to the show. So definitely check that out, and that's, I think, all from me today. So you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out from me in the future, and I will definitely see you guys in a couple of days when I recap the first episode of the new season, actually, of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So, see you then and there. Bye-bye.